My name is Laura Bennett, and I am a single mother. For 20 years, I raised my son alone. I gave birth to him. I watched him grow. He was my whole world. Then one simple DNA test came back with 3 words that destroyed everything. You are not the mother. At first, I thought it was a mistake. But when I started searching for answers, I discovered what my husband had done the day our son was born. Before I tell you what actually happened, please like and subscribe if this story earns it. For 20 years, I believed I knew exactly who I was. A mother. Nothing in my life mattered more than my son, Ethan. I raised him alone after my husband, Mark, disappeared when Ethan was still a baby. Not long after he left, I received news that he had died overseas. I never saw a body, just papers and condolences. So it became just the 2 of us. Every school morning, every birthday cake, every scraped knee, I was there. I worked 2 jobs when he was young. I skipped vacations, new clothes, and relationships just to make sure he had everything he needed. He wasn't just my son. He was my purpose. That's why the DNA test felt harmless at first. It started on an ordinary evening. Ethan ordered one online DNA test out of curiosity. He said everyone at college was doing it, discovering family roots, finding distant relatives, learning where they came from. We laughed while opening the kit at the kitchen table. Maybe I'm secretly famous, he joked. Then don't forget your mother when you're rich, I replied. We sent the samples without thinking twice. To us, it was just fun. 3 weeks later, Ethan called me into his room. His face looked confused. Mom, I think the website made a mistake. I sat beside him and looked at the computer screen. There it was. A bright red notification. Maternal DNA match, 0%. I laughed at first. That's impossible, I said. Refresh the page. He did. Same result. We checked again. Still 0. I felt a strange chill run through my body. I had carried him for 9 months. I remembered the labor, the pain, the first moment I held him. Science couldn't erase that. It's just an error, I told him. These tests aren't perfect. But that night, after he went to sleep, I ordered another test. And another one after that. Each result came back the same. No biological connection. I wasn't Ethan's mother. I barely slept for days. Memories replayed in my head, the hospital room, the nurses, the exhaustion after delivery. Had something gone wrong? Had there been a mix-up? I contacted the hospital where Ethan was born. That was when things became strange. The receptionist said my maternity records were restricted. Restricted? I asked for my delivery file. They told me it was unavailable. I requested my original birth certificate copy. They sent a reissued version instead. My hands started shaking. Why would birth records be replaced? I drove to the hospital myself. The building looked smaller than I remembered, but walking through those doors made my chest tight with anxiety. At the records desk, a woman searched my name. Her expression changed. Then she quickly closed the screen. I'm sorry, she said politely. Those files aren't accessible. Why? I asked. She hesitated. I'm not authorized to discuss it. That was the moment I knew this wasn't a mistake. Someone was hiding something. That night, I opened an old storage box filled with Ethan's baby photos and hospital papers. Most documents looked normal. Except one detail caught my attention. The nurse listed on my delivery record had resigned 2 weeks after Ethan's birth. No forwarding address. No contact information. Almost like she disappeared. A cold realization settled over me. If I wasn't Ethan's biological mother, then somewhere out there, my real child existed. And someone knew exactly what happened the day I gave birth. The next morning, my phone rang from an unknown number. I answered carefully. A woman's voice spoke softly. You need to stop asking questions about that hospital. My heart skipped. Who is this? Silence. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. The truth will destroy more lives than you think. The call ended. I stared at the phone, trembling. Because deep down, I understood one terrifying thing. This wasn't an accident. Someone had changed our lives on purpose. And I was about to discover why. I couldn't sleep that night. The unknown caller's warning kept repeating in my head. Stop searching. But I couldn't stop now. Not after learning the truth about Ethan. The next morning, I returned to the hospital, this time prepared. I asked for the maternity records again, but they refused. Policies. Privacy laws. Excuses. So I tried something else. I searched for former staff members who worked there 20 years ago. After hours online, one name appeared again and again, a retired nurse who had been on duty the night Ethan was born. I drove 3 hours to a small town where she now lived. When she opened the door, she looked surprised to see me. Older, tired eyes, but kind. The moment I mentioned the hospital and the year of Ethan's birth, her expression changed. Fear. I knew this day would come, she whispered. My heart pounded. What happened that night? I asked. She hesitated before letting me inside. We sat at her kitchen table. Her hands trembled as she spoke. There were 2 babies born within minutes of each other, she said softly. You and another woman. I leaned forward. What happened to them? Your child was born with a rare genetic disorder. The words crushed me. What? The doctors believed he would need lifelong treatment, she continued gently. Your husband couldn't accept it. My chest tightened. He came back to the nursery late that night. He spoke privately with the doctor. She paused, struggling to continue. They made a deal. I felt cold. What deal? Her eyes filled with guilt. Your husband switched the babies. Silence filled the room. He took the healthy newborn and left your biological child behind. My mind refused to understand. No, that's impossible. He wanted a normal life, she whispered. He believed you would never survive the pain of raising a sick child. Tears blurred my vision. He took another woman's baby and gave away ours? She nodded slowly. The records were sealed. Birth certificate replaced. Everyone involved signed confidentiality agreements. I couldn't breathe. 20 years. 20 years raising a child stolen from another mother. But why disappear? I asked weakly. The nurse hesitated. Because the real mother discovered something was wrong. She started asking questions. The hospital feared exposure. My stomach turned. What happened to my husband? He wasn't dead, she said quietly. He was sent away. New identity. Paid to stay silent. Everything I believed shattered in seconds. Mark hadn't died. He ran. I drove home in silence, hands shaking on the steering wheel. When I arrived, Ethan was waiting. He saw my face and immediately knew. What did you find? He asked. I told him everything. Every word hurt to say. He sat quietly for a long time. Then he asked the question I feared most. So, I'm not your son. My eyes filled with tears. You are my son, I said. Maybe not by blood, but by every moment we lived together. He hugged me tightly. And in that moment, I understood something important. Love had never been the lie. Only the past was. A week later, another message arrived. An envelope without a return address. Inside was a photograph. A young man about Ethan's age. On the back, a handwritten note. Your biological son. Stop searching. My hand shook. Someone still didn't want the truth revealed. But now I wasn't afraid anymore. Because I finally understood. Mark didn't disappear to protect himself. He disappeared because powerful people helped him bury the crime. And they were still watching. I looked at Ethan standing in the living room, the boy I raised, the boy who called me mom for 20 years. Blood didn't change that. But somewhere out there, my real child was alive. And this time, I wasn't going to stop searching. Because a mother doesn't give up on her child. Not after 20 years. Not after the truth. Not ever.